the Huey approaching. I'm going to give the phone to David Mach. David, you just do a commentary on what's happening in the cockpit.
Okay, everybody's just coming into the hover, dropping out of translation lift, pulling up with the collector, drawing left level, and he'll assess the power in the hover. And then he'll, when he's happy, he'll start stabilise the hover and then lowering the collective now. Hit a right pedal, and he should be on the ground very shortly. Crewman's holding the height, 3 feet, 2 feet 1, touchdown. And now he's on the ground, and he'll wind the throttle back on the collective to reduce the engine to flight idle. This aircraft has a...
Okay.
Yeah, well, here we are at Coronel, just as a commemoration of the 50th anniversary since Australia pulled out of Vietnam. This is the Bravo model Iroquois, which the Royal Australian Navy first took into service about 1966 and stayed in service till 1989. It was used for training. It was the basic helicopter trainer for pilots, air crewmen, what we used to call observers, who are now called air warfare officers. It had the capability for winching. This one only had a 90-foot cable on it, which of course was a bit tricky if you had to extract somebody from gum tree areas. We have a hook underneath that we're able to carry external cargo loads. It was mainly used around Nowra, although we did embark it in a couple of ships for short periods, HMAS to Brook being one of them. This helicopter trained a group of people referred to as RN Helicopter Flight Vietnam in 1967 to go and serve with the United States Army, a fully integrated unit commanded by an American and second in command with the Australian Navy. That went on for 4 years. Each flight served 11 to 12 months. There were about 48 people in each flight, which comprised the mentioned pilots, air crewmen and air warfare officers, who mainly became the latter, became intelligence officers. We had about 26 maintainers who did a sterling job. Whatever their rank was, for instance, petty officer would do the equivalent role of a sergeant, US Army, and we took up positions there. It was indivisible of who we were. We were just there as part of EMU Company, experimental military unit, nothing to do with the flight spur. And so it went on for a period of time, as I say, 4 years. We flew H model Iroquois up there, and they were a bit larger than this one with a more powerful engine. We would carry troops about, depending upon whether it was Australians, about 8 at a time, given that they went out very heavily loaded with their equipment and ammunition, usually to stay and pacify an area before they came back. With the Americans in their Arvin, we would carry some more. They usually went on search and destroy missions. We would take them out and try to go through an area that was thought to be full of tunnels, perhaps with VC. Do what we had to do. We would take them back at night, because one of the main major concerns was to provide security for the villages. So it sounded a bit funny just flying them out back in the day, but there was a purpose in it. Some of the areas, combat assaults as we call them, with 10 slicks at a time, with a couple of gunships, command and control up on top, and we did that every day. But the idea was, it was very much force multiplier. I mean, if you had 100 in the first lift, say, well, if you didn't find something in the area you went to, you could pick them up and move them on very quickly, rather than having them walk. But if they ended up in trouble, you could reinforce them very quickly. There were thousands of choppers served up there in Vietnam, and I can't be sure of the figure, but there was something like a couple of thousand shot down. Very frequently, the pilots would be able to successfully land them despite the damage. There were sometimes the crew were killed and pilots killed and the aircraft, total crews were lost, unfortunately. But they're a very robust aeroplane. One of my friends took 28 holes one time. He flew about 1,500 yards from the zone we put him in. Fuel pouring out, so he had to land short. But within a couple of days, he'd been airlifted back by a Chinook repaired and back online. So they're very, very robust helicopters. A lot of affection for them. One of the reasons we like to keep flying them, as the Historical Aircraft Restoration Society has taken on board 2 of these. Only one is restored thus far. We're 75% way through to another one. It's all done on a voluntary basis. We get no support from Defence or the Forces. We're very well supported by one particular sponsor, Air Affairs Australia, very generous towards us, giving us some hangarage. So that's our purpose, to add this to the HARS fleet of fixed wing. We already have Caribou, DC-3, Super Constellation, and a number of Windshield is about to get airborne.
Wow.
So there's a good number of military aircraft and also civilian aircraft. We're restoring a DC-4, and so any time that people are up around the Wollongong area, Shell Harbour, Albion Park, please come and visit us. Help us to keep these things going, because we do in the Iroquois in particular. It's a tribute to all those regulars and national service men and their families who served in Vietnam. What a tremendous effort it was on their part, and was a great commitment on their part. And as long as we can, we'll keep the Huey alive, as out of respect for them.
Thank you so much. That'll be great. Thank you. Thank you.